Hey, Jarek here, and this is arguably the best 3D printed Flywheeler for the price. This is the Dragonfly. It is made by Impact 498. Now, I actually came across this when I was watching one of Dr. Flux's videos, and the moment that I found out that this only cost about 100 bucks, I had to get one for myself. 100 for a 3D printed automatic Flywheeler is really good. And the moment I opened this box, I loved how this thing looked. I loved the different paint they used. It's so shiny. Now, you can get it in any color you want. I went with the black and red color scheme because, yeah, I just kind of do that. And I think it looks awesome, especially the sort of red accents around the words on it. Same with the other side where it says Impact 498. Like, this thing looks super clean in black and red. It obviously doesn't come with this red dot, but it had a big rail up there, so might as well chuck a red dot on there. It also has a standard Nerf stock attachment point. I have this worker sort of vector style stock. It looks kind of goofy on this. The paint obviously doesn't match. It's not as shiny. This stock is bigger than the gun, but it's really comfortable. It kind of turns it into one of those like machine pistols. It kind of reminds me of firing, say, like a Scorpion. And this thing's just awesome. I know I've said that a lot, but I really like it. It also comes with this tiny, almost adorable little 7-round magazine, and it comes with 7 waffle head darts. However, this takes regular Talon mags. So if you have any sort of Talon mags, there you go. It'll work. When I was shooting this, I had a friend over who had 18 round mags, so I was also using those in the video. My friend was also being nice and loading mags while I was shooting this thing. However, when he loaded mags, he loaded it with the darts like pointing down. So occasionally in the video where I'm shooting it, it'll like skip darts, but that has never happened to me when you actually load the darts correctly. So this thing performs extremely well. The 3D print quality is mostly fine, although I do notice there's a lot of those sort of like 3D printed strands left over that I could clean up. But other than that, it feels pretty solid. I'm not noticing anything wild about it. It just looks good. The battery compartment is toolless, thankfully. I love toolless battery compartments. It's just one of those computer thumb screws in the side here. And I was actually surprised. The battery compartment is a lot bigger than I thought it would be, because this is not a very big blaster, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but like you can see how much space is in here. I have a 3S. Is this my 1300 or 1000 milliamp? This is my 1000 milliamp battery, but a 1300 milliamp would definitely fit. But like, there's a lot of space like going there. Like the whole back of this is basically just empty for you to go ahead and slide in whatever battery that'll fit. This was the battery that I usually put in the Jupiter, and there's a lot more space in here than with the Out of Darts Jupiter. Even with the battery in there, you can see there's just a lot of space, which is good. Now, when I chronoed this, it was pretty hard to chrono because I couldn't exactly tell where the barrel was, and I need to line it up perfectly with my chrono, but every accurate reading seemed to be about 140 FPS, which seems about right. I chronoed this with Worker Gen 3s. I've tried a bunch of different darts. They all seem to work pretty much perfectly in this blaster, so use whatever Halfling darts you have. It's not going to jam. They're going to shoot pretty straight. For a Flywheeler, this thing is pretty dang accurate. It can definitely compete with other full-sized Flywheelers. Now, about the size, as I already pointed out, this is a standard vector style stock. This is an SMG stock for a Chris. This thing is longer than the gun, the whole gun. I have a knockoff Nightingale here to kind of put it side by side, and I'll line up the grips. And yeah, I mean, this thing, it's almost pistol size. Like, machine pistol would be the correct classification for this. It is so small for the power and performance it has. Other than that, I mean, it's a 3D printed Flywheeler. It has the rev trigger. That is something I can talk about. The flywheels are also 3D printed, and the downside to that is that this thing is loud. This thing is very, very loud. You're gonna have to get used to that. Like, I know Flywheelers can get pretty loud, but this is definitely the loudest one that I personally have owned. So yeah, that's the Dragonfly. This thing is one of my favorite 3D printed blasters. I mean, it just kind of works. It even has a 1-point sling down here if you want to take this as like your secondary. Because this thing, like I said, is so small, you could get away with that. Even better, it uses Talon mags, and your primary probably also uses Talon mags. This thing probably be super good in CQB, and honestly, you could take it anywhere and do pretty good with it. It's got good FPS, it's got a good rate of fire, it can take any sort of Talon mag you can chuck into it. I've not had any misfeeds or any real problems with it. Would highly recommend. I'll put a link down below in the video information if you want to buy one of these for yourself. Very, very affordable. Again, only around 100 bucks. I will just quickly mention that in the parts where I'm shooting this, I loaded some Gen 2 yellow worker darts inside of here. Those are not very good quality. The dart heads will just fly off and they'll be really inaccurate. But I did want to still shoot them because I had them and they're yellow and it's easy for the camera to pick up. And I thought it might be funny to see them obliterate in the air while shooting them. So do keep that in mind. But with that all said, let's just shoot this thing.